Thanks. Next slide, please.
Here we go.
So what are today's topics? What are we gonna discuss or touch upon? I'll start today with a little bit of background about how this call came about. So it's actually a KIC partnership between FFAR and NWO. Then John Wright from FFAR is gonna provide more information on the theme of the call and also touching upon the 3 themes which should be integrated in a final proposal. Steve de Valk, my NWO colleague, is going to tell you a bit about the route towards impact, because we're really looking for what transitioning of greenhouses and knowledge and action perspectives, how to do this is with the goal of this sustainable transitioning of greenhouse but controlled environment agriculture. And it's about we want to help this innovation, and it sounds quite big, so we need to discuss, okay, what impact are we looking for? Which stakeholders are needed to generate relevant information, insights, to collaborate, to work towards this sustainable transitioning? And NWO, and in the school, NWO has agreed with FFAR to use the impact plan approach, which is an approach which helps you to think in terms of, okay, what is the impact we're looking for? What stakeholders are needed, both in our consortium, as well as later on when we have new knowledge and insights, which some stakeholders can use to help this transitioning. Thereafter, the floor is yours. We have a number of pitches, short pitches from people who are interested in this call and are looking for collaboration. So maybe it can also help you think, okay, maybe I can collaborate with this person, or this person has a very interesting idea. Then Steve will give the final presentation on the call details, which may be the more tough stuff, but I guess also very important for you to know what we're looking for, what assessment criteria are there, but also the procedure, which is for this call it's quite innovative in a sense that we're looking for one integrated proposal, but we have a whole trajectory to get there. So Steve will provide more information on that. And then we aim to end this event at 4:30 Dutch time and 10:30 EDT. Next slide, please. So this is just to give you an idea of who actually indicated they would like to join this session. We're very happy to see different universities from the US and the Netherlands. Also some companies, I think, let me look up the figures. Steve, help me here. How many people did we have? 77 people actually indicated they'd like to join. So we're hoping that this will also give you a possibility to, to meet new partners. And we'll also send you a list of everyone who participated here, at least everyone who indicated they would be okay with sharing their contact details. So we're very happy to see this broad number of organizations joining today. So I'm going to provide you a bit of information and a background for this call. So this call is part of the NWO KIC partnership program, which is KIC stands for Knowledge and Innovation Covenant. Through this covenant, NWO contributes to the Dutch government's mission-driven top sector and innovation policy. And through this program, we really aim at solving major societal challenges, such as the sustainable transitioning of controlled environment agriculture. Within this program, NWO collaborates with other partners, and we both provide 50% funding. And specifically for this collaboration, we're also looking for 10% co-funding at project level from private partners, could be in cash or in kind, because we really need commitment of private partners to make this in collaborating with researchers to generate relevant new knowledge and also action perspectives. And NWO in this partnership is responsible for the assessment and admissibility procedure. So any questions on the assessment and admissibility can always be sent to NWO. So we're very glad to partner here with the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research, FFAR, and to work with John. FFAR is they build public-private partnerships to support audacious research addressing food and agriculture challenges. And I think they have also big network and experience, so we're very glad to work with them on this. So I think this is a moment to give John the floor.
All right, so hello everyone.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning for me. Good
Ah,
afternoon for some of you. Can you hear me?
Why can I hear you, John? John, are you muted?
No.
Oh,
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. All right, so very, very excited to be part of this call and to be working with our Dutch colleagues at the NWO. I'm John Reich, and I'm with the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research, and I'm just going to briefly explain who we are in a sentence or two, and then I'm going to walk through kind of the themes of the proposal. So FAR, as we're called for short, is a funding agency that builds public-private partnerships, and our priorities fall within the food and agricultural space. So, like I said a second ago, we're very excited about this partnership and the proposals that will be coming in through this call for proposals. This partnership with the NWO is really centered around our shared goals to make CEA more sustainable and to build collaborations and advance science between our two nations that lead to an exchange of ideas and innovation. We believe this call for proposals comes at an opportune time where investments are occurring within our countries and globally to transition to a greener economy and hope that successful applicants can capitalize on those investments. Next slide, please. So we really want to spend a little time going over the themes for this call for proposals and the brief background that puts this call for proposals in text. So it's going to be very brief. So this call is really situated around the fact that multiple countries, like I said, or regions are shifting to more sustainable systems and are making investments in this shift. This transition is occurring across multiple economic domains, creating new technologies or innovations to promote sustainable sectors. Some of these are listed here. So we have the energy, water, food, and agricultural nexus, depending on what order you want to put those in. I'll be saying them differently throughout this short presentation. But some of them are listed here. So the energy, water, and food nexus. And so we know that as these different sectors are adapting to this greener transition or more sustainable transition, that this adaptation often occurs in silos, and they're developing new technologies and infrastructure to enable that to happen. So for instance, we know that the energy sector is looking at new renewable energy resources. The water sector is looking at different methods for water purification and then appropriate use of that water. In the future, and then the food and agricultural sector are looking at agronomic and production practices, right? So those are just some of the things that are occurring, and those are often happening in silos. Next slide, please. So as some of these technologies and innovations are being developed, like I said, they will most likely be using shared resources and may also create new resources for use in different sectors and may rely on newly developed or updated infrastructure that is shared between these different sectors. And this is really due to the interconnectedness of these systems. So for the purpose of this presentation, we have presented that kind of in this simple diagram on the right, where our focus in the food and agricultural space is really on the controlled environment agricultural sector. So we have these interconnected systems, which again, this is not all inclusive here on this slide, that are developing new technologies, often at the same time with less coordination or understanding between different sectors of how this transition holistically is going to happen. But for a green transition to happen effectively and smoothly, we need not only the technological and infrastructure aspects to align across sectors, but also alignment between the people involved in this transformation, which really brings us to this call for proposals. So next slide, please. So the overall aim of this call for proposals is to contribute to knowledge and action perspectives to accelerate controlled environment agricultural's transition into a circular sustainable industry. And different elements that are relevant to this are cross-sectoral technologies, so that work synergistically within the water, energy, food nexus, taking into account efficient and sustainable integration of new cross-sectoral technologies and innovative regional approaches. We hope that applicants take a holistic understanding of the sustainable transition of CEA, also take a systems perspective, including governance and linkages to other societal challenges related to CEA, take into account effective resource allocation, and generate new insights and bring together and align how they align to existing knowledge. So we have here at the end of the slide that single technology is not enough. So a single technology or working just at the level of how a CEA facility can be in its own circular system will not be enough for this proposal or to have an effective application. We're really looking for how the advancements in multiple sectors can lead to synergies that facilitate the transition to a greener or more sustainable economy. And to do this, there are 3 themes which we'll briefly go over in the next couple slides. So next slide, please. So the first theme is coupling and designing technologies that bridge CEA, energy, water, or urban planning sectors. As I just mentioned, transitioning to a more circular and sustainable industry is going to require a focus on the interconnectedness between multiple sectors, including the food, energy, water nexus. Disruptive technologies are being developed across multiple sectors, and it is important to understand the potential for these technologies as they utilize and create shared resources. Therefore, to ensure the best use of resources, it will be important to understand how these can be coupled to existing technologies and designed at a regional scale, optimizing resource use and waste valorization across the different sectors. In addition, understanding how new regional technologies can be utilized for a variety of purposes within multiple sectors, thereby creating synergies and potentially advancing higher adoption rates of the new technology. Next slide, please. So theme 2 is titled Understanding Societal Complexity of Embedding New Cross-Sectoral Technologies / Innovative Approaches to Enable Social Intervention. So gaining an understanding of the social complexity in which a new cross-sectoral technology or innovative approach becomes embedded is pivotal to facilitate the transition of CEA into a more sustainable industry. Economic drivers significantly influence innovation adoption, necessitating consideration for regional constraints like capital costs and market adoption of innovations. Similarly, regional design comes with a variety of constraints and huge capital costs. So understanding these societal complexities is essential because this can help identify what planning considerations for the water, energy, food nexus need to be considered. This is particularly important as new cross-sectoral technology and innovative approaches are regionally applied and potentially utilized widely across society. So as part of this theme, we realize that links between research and planning and how this transition is implemented can be limited. We're really hoping that collaborative industry or sector networks form from the consortium that comes from this call for proposals, potentially promoting information exchange, collaborative research, and sustainable solutions. Next slide, please. So the last theme that needs to be integrated into a full proposal is investigating the potential ecological effects of new cross-sectoral technologies / innovative approaches. So understanding the potential ecological effects of new cross-sectoral technologies or innovative approaches within the transition of CEA to increase sustainability is important to ensure that the transition is both technologically feasible and ecologically sustainable. We know that all solutions come with trade-offs, and sometimes these trade-offs negatively impact the environment, or sometimes they can positively impact the environment. This theme, like the others, may involve technology experimentation, model development, and creation of enabling technologies to ensure that the concept is both technologically feasible and ecologically sustainable. In addition to that, approaches such as nature-inclusive design to ensure positive environmental impacts could be investigated. Ultimately, when we think about creating more sustainable systems or environments across multiple domains, trade-offs in one domain can be circumvented by decisions in another domain. This could open opportunities not only to have minimal environmental impacts, but also possible positive environmental impacts or just positive impacts on the system as a whole. So that's the 3 themes that need to be integrated in this proposal. And now Steve will go over the next section.
Thank you, John, for your nice introduction towards the themes and the aim of this call for proposals. And you mentioned impact. Well, that's definitely something NWO is all about. We try to fund research that has a high chance that aims towards a higher chance of impact on society. And what we mean by societal impact is basically any change that happens in society due to partially the results or knowledge and skills generated in said research. This is an important bit for us because, yes, there we go. Well, because we want to increase the chance of knowledge utilization in the field, in the sector, and thus, increase the chance of societal impact. And we have a plan for that, and we call it the impact plan approach. But it's nothing more than a tool that you can use as a consortium to jointly devise a strategy towards this impact in society. It gives you a route, basically, towards this impact that you set yourself, and it gives you information on the partners, on the stakeholders, and also the knowledge that you need to generate or that are needed to reach this impact. It also serves as a basis of reflection. Basically, you have some sort of plan. There's some sort of feedback loop. Is this still valid? If yes, let's continue. If no, you can change something in your approach or maybe your implementation of your research. So that's why it's kind of important to think about this. But I would say the main reason why you should have to use this is because it's integrated in the application form. There you go. I'll put it in a more visually attractive way. So the impact plan approach, let's imagine that this road is your road to impact, and you're standing at the beginning, and all the way in the end, this dot on the horizon is the change you desire, basically the impact you try to achieve or try to contribute to with your research. Now, how does this impact look like? But more importantly, how do we get to this impact? Which path do we need to traverse to get there? And basically, our impact plan approach is based on the theory of change, and loosely this comes down to let's reason backwards from this dot on the horizon. So when we reason like that, we immediately bump into people or stakeholders that actually need to do something in society to contribute to this impact. And probably these stakeholders, they need something. And highly likely, you as a researcher or as a cooperation partner can contribute to whatever these stakeholders need to make this impact in society. Well, obviously, there are some assumptions between these interactions between stakeholders and researchers or stakeholders and this impact. For instance, maybe you don't speak the same language. Maybe the models you create are not really understandable for practice. Maybe there needs some translational part to make any results that come out of research usable for the field. So those are assumptions that you always need to take in mind. Another figure to give you a more understanding about how this impact approach also works. So imagine this is the society, the sphere. It's the sphere of interest. And the dot on the horizon, the impact that we want to achieve is somewhere in society. We're reasoning backwards. We come into the sphere of influence of the stakeholders. So who are they, and what do they need? What should they do? So these are outcomes. So whatever they're going to do with whatever they need, it's an outcome. And wrong way. And interestingly, you can ask a question: what do they need? And you will come immediately to the sphere of control. Basically, whatever a project does is in their control, and they can contribute or deliver to the stakeholders what they need to influence society. Basically, this is the impact plan approach that we have envisioned. But no worries. We can help you. There are workshops online available to give you more information on how this works. So for now, I'll leave it at that. Now, the final bit, the call details. I would say it's the least, well, more boring part, but nonetheless important part. So quickly, a recap of the aim of the call and the three themes. I'm not going to read them out loud, but it's important to know that there are three themes for this call for proposals. And the idea is that we want to fund one integrated project, like Maria said at the beginning of our presentation. We want to bring together existing networks that have good ideas to jointly develop one proposal. And for this one proposal, we have 5.4 million euros available. 50% is coming from the FFAR, and 50% comes from NWO. The idea is to integrate a project with a system-wide perspective the holistic thing John was talking about, and of course involve researchers, cooperation partners, but also co-funders. This is important because it's, well, we'll get to that. The way we are going to get to one integrated project is basically by two phases. And the first phase is actually the phase that we are heading towards right now. It's the sub-proposal phase. And in this sub-proposal phase, short proposals only outlining the idea of the ideas and of a sub-consortium that brings it again. It's a short proposal outlining your idea, and you bring a small sub-consortium of people and partners to the table, and like that. You choose 2 out of 3 themes. You don't need a detailed budget yet. So it's really concise. And in the second phase, one full proposal, some sub-proposals are selected. They are going towards a synergy workshop where all the themes will be addressed, and together with the selected sub-proposals, they will develop one full proposal. And that seems like a lot of effort, and it is, but as soon as you're in phase 2, so as soon as your proposal is selected, you have a really high chance of funding. So maybe that's the cookie or the cherry on the cake, I would say. So let's dive a bit deeper into the different phases. So the proposals in every phase have some requirements, obviously. In the first phase, the sub-proposal phase, we only need, obviously, there's a main applicant and at least a co-applicant and a cooperation partner. One thing to mention is that the natural sciences have to be included, as well as social sciences. So this 2 disciplines or these 2 research fields should be presented in one sub-proposal. You don't have to specify a budget, but please keep in mind that 1 million euros is what I would say the max for a sub-proposal. Keeping in mind that multiple sub-proposals are merged together later on, so the expectations of the budget, well, they have to fit a bit. What's important in phase 1 is that you already think about co-funding. So you can mention in your proposal what ways of what possibilities you see for co-funding for your sub-proposal. That doesn't mean that it has to be in writing. No, it's just an idea of how to get to this co-funding. Like I said before, you have to address 2 out of the 3 themes. In the full proposal, we need an FFAR applicant and an NWO applicant, because the idea is that we have a US-based, or the idea is that we have a balance in the US and Dutch project activities. And of course, for that, we also need cooperation partners from the US and the Netherlands, or based in the US and based in the Netherlands. And of course, also co-funding partners. Why we want co-funding? It's because we want to have the commitment of companies that join us. And this co-funding, 10% of the total budget, 5.4 million, so 10% of that can be in kind or in cash. So those are the proposal requirements. Of course, after you submit your proposal, there's an assessment procedure. And our assessment is being performed by an assessment committee based from experts from the field, international experts that will judge your proposal on, in the first phase, on these 3 terms: problem definition and analysis of the problem, your idea of how you can get to impact, and the quality of your sub-consortium. So please note that the quality of the research is not mentioned here because it's a concise sub-proposal. You don't have to think about research questions yet. It's concise. After the first assessment based on these criteria, there will be an additional selection based on complementarity to the top-rated proposal. So the proposal that scores the highest, the assessment committee will look through the other proposals and see which one complements the top-rated proposal best. And in this way, we want to come towards a set of sub-proposals that can go towards the phase 2 to form one big project. So the additional selection is based on complementarity. Like I said, we are looking for two. Initially, we want to have at least 2 applicants from the FFAR and 2 applicants from NWO, so we have something to choose from. Or sorry, again, the assessment committee has something to choose from. At least 1 FFAR and 1 NWO application has to receive the score good or better to proceed to the second phase. So it is a possibility that the second phase never happens if we don't receive enough applications, or that the applications are not of not good enough quality. So this is something to also keep in mind. Well, phase 2 is a long way ahead, but the only difference there is there's a more focus on the quality of research as well. So that and a whole proposal, full proposal, is necessary there. A bit about the synergy work. So a set of sub-proposals is selected. You're the lucky few to go ahead, to go towards the next round, the development of a full proposal. And we will assist you in that. We have an external facilitator that helps you and the other selected sub-proposal groups to get together in 3 workshops to jointly develop a full proposal. Now, these workshops will be between February and May 2025. So this is something to keep in mind if you submit something, to already block these dates in your agenda, because there's a possibility that you have to travel and attend these workshops. We basically say they're mandatory to follow when you submit a proposal. So keep this in mind. There will be meetings in the Netherlands, there will be meetings in the US, and in between there will also be some online meetings. The aim of this is basically to bring together all the ideas of the sub-applications and bring them together to fully develop a full application. And of course, input of cooperation partner is really necessary. As I mentioned before, we are aiming to make a large contribution towards impact, and you need partners for that. There is room for new ideas by combining new research activities, by looking at your plan, and new things will pop up in your discussions about the content of CEA. And I think that's the best part for all of you, and the most enjoyable part, I would say, talking about science. Of course, you have to make decisions and agreements on how such a big project will be governed, but also on the budget. And of course, you do this in collaboration with each other, and of course with the funders a bit, not on content, but for the outline of funding and stuff like that. Some things to keep in mind for the synergy workshops: keep an open mind. So basically, you are forced to work together in a process to come to a joint proposal. So keep an open mind, because this will give you some flexibility in the process itself, and you can jump on unexpected opportunities maybe. This also ensures that there's enough interaction between the researchers and the cooperation partners, because this is important to get to the impact. But this is also important even before the assessment of the sub-proposal. You need cooperation you need interaction between the cooperation partners and your researchers at the beginning while writing your proposal as well. Remember that the impact plan is, well, not in super great detail, but it's part of the application form. Based on the assessment committee, or based on the synergy workshops, adding new cooperation partners is possible. And again, don't make any fixed agreements with your partner during this proposal. Why? Because you will just hamper yourself in the development, in the creative process of combining all the different researchers and research ideas into a full proposal, especially around budget or co-funding or specific tasks. Keep it a bit flexible. Finally, like I said before, reserve time for the full proposal development. One, because there are synergy workshops, but also between the workshops, you need to contact each other, probably via Teams or an online platform, to discuss and to write your full application. And again, when you're in phase 2, the chances for funding is quite considerable. Lastly, the timetable. I will not go through them. I will just highlight 2 things. The deadline for the sub-proposals is the 28th of October 2024. So this is after well, at least Dutch summer holidays. Well, it's in 3 months, so there's plenty of time to reach out to each other, either via the participants of this online session or in the networks or in your own networks. Another thing to keep in mind is that the synergy workshops, they will take place in February until May. So if you decide to submit a sub-proposal, keep these dates also in mind. It will require some traveling. Yeah, it will require some traveling. I think with this, we are at the end of our presentation. Some final contact information. If you want to reach out towards us at NWO, you can email us at kickca@nwo.nl for any questions about assessment or submission of your proposals. You can contact and reach us to us. If you have any questions to the FAR, you can reach John Rijk at foundationfar.org. This is, I think, more useful for applicants from the states that have to apply at FAR, maybe about co-funding rules and stuff like that. The links to our websites, and I think with that we can start our Q&A session. I'll just stop sharing my screen so I can at least see some faces again. If you have any questions, let's start with the chat. You already have something, Maria?
Yes, I already answered some questions. There was a question by Ramin Ibrahimnejad. Apologies if I pronounce your name wrong. Can third-party entities from countries outside of the Netherlands and the US, such as the UK, participate in proposals? This is only entities outside of the Netherlands and the US can only participate in a sub-proposal or a proposal as collaboration partner or co-funder, and then within a consortium which already includes one collaboration partner and co-funder based either in the Netherlands or the US.
So it is possible, but it has some conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have a question about the theme. In how far is theme 1 focused on technology that improves the running of individual greenhouses versus improving how greenhouses in general are connected to the surrounding environment and water, energy, waste networks are both in scope? I think I will, John, could you answer this question?
Yeah, I would say, oh, sorry, I'm echoing. Okay. I would say, look at the call for proposals and look at what we actually hope to achieve with the call for proposals, which is the integration across different sectors. And you can probably come up with a lot more creative ways of focusing it on either that will be acceptable to an assessment committee. But that really is kind of up to the assessment committee. So, and up to how you want to write that and how you want to connect to the different themes, I believe. Maria, do you think that's a good enough answer?
Yes, thanks. Thanks so much. Then we have a question by Monique Mill. What are the requirements for co-funders? You can find these requirements in, let me see, section 3.6.6 of the call. The 10% co-funding can be either in kind or in cash, and should come, at least 10% should come from a private party. And please have a look at the call, because there it's described what we see as a private party in this call. So really have a look at section 3.6.6. There's more information there as well. Let me see. Leo Marcelis asked whether proposals in phase 1 are separate for Dutch and US partners, so no joint US-Dutch proposal, but it can definitely be combined. So yes, collaboration already in a sub-proposal phase is definitely possible. I guess there's no more questions in the chat, so perhaps we can.
Yeah.
People can raise their hand.
Yeah. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, and then we can do it verbally. We no need to type. Leo, go ahead.
Yes, it was related to my last question of combining a US partner and a Dutch partner. And I, in particular, was triggered because I read with the selection that there was 2 FFAR proposals, sub-proposal, and 2 NWO proposals. So I thought, when is it an FFAR proposal and when it is an NWO proposal? In particular, if we combine it, how does that work?
Good question. How we define it is basically people that submit at FFR are an FFR applicant. If you submit at NWO, you're an NWO applicant. But within this, you can work together.
Okay, and so those sub-proposals really should not go over the 1 million euro or dollar. So if we have already a few more, but I think, well, we can cooperate, then we should not do that now, then because that can only come later.
It will come. I mean, this is not an assessment criteria. This is more of forcing you as an applicant to think about, okay, we cannot promise the world because there's a limited budget and you are going to be combined later on. So this is basically a way of forcing you to, well, be open for for collaboration. If you go over that budget, it's not something that you'll be assessed on, but keep it in mind. Any more questions from the audience? I don't see any hands, so if you have something, just speak up. I guess our presentation was pretty clear then. I'm pretty happy about that. I don't see any burning questions. Leo, go ahead.
Sorry, and then I will not ask more, but the title of the call is Greenhouses, and then I read Controlled Environment Agriculture. I just want to be clear, is it only about greenhouse or is it also about vertical farms?
It's about CEA. So the Greenhouse in Transition, it's a title that's, you know, it flows better from the mouth. Let me put it that way. But it's definitely about CEA. Yeah. I think we did a great job. If you have any questions after this meeting that you're thinking, oh, I forgot to ask, just email us, reach out. You can reach out to us at NWO or you can reach out to John. It's all good. We're one team.
Can I have a question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Since we have a lot of Dutch professional here, I'm in North Dakota. North Dakota just build up a very nice, like a close to 5-acre greenhouse. It's borrowed the idea from Dutchess, from you guys, but it probably will be in operation next year. So I'm just wondering if any of you involved with that project from your side.
Is this a question to us as NWO or
yeah, from anyone from Netherlands, if you involved with that project? So it's NG2, so it's natural green grow greenhouse. It's in the Native American tribes. It's one of probably the largest greenhouse in North Dakota. But it's a Dutch style, 10-foot tall, very, can adjust the angle of the roof. But it's not in operation yet. It was on the news everywhere. So just wondering if any of you get involved.
Personally, I'm not aware, but then again, CA is not my field of research. If there's anyone that knows about this, feel free to reach out to Xingyu, because her contact details will be shared after this meeting as well. If you already know about it, you can mention it right now, but otherwise, please reach out.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, should I wrap it up? Seeing that we were quite clear, or we just sent a lot of information to you and you still need processing, please reach out later on. We're happy to answer any questions you might have related to our call for proposals. I think we had a nice meeting. We had some nice pitches. I hope you can reach out to each other, and we definitely hope that in October we will have a good set of sub-proposals. And actually, I can't wait to start with this. John, Maria, and we spent a lot of time devising this call for proposals, and now it's a time for us to be in stress, excited. Let me put it a bit. We're excited to look forward to your proposals. And with that, I would like to end this session. This week, we will share the presentation and the participation list to all of you, whoever mentioned that it's okay to share, obviously. And with that, thank you for joining us today.